Hello, today we are studying chapter 5 in the novel A Tale of Two Cities. In this chapter, the revolution starts, the revolution which they have been preparing for since too long. People have been living in misery, poverty, sickness, cold, dirt, all these years. Now they are coming. They are going to burn, destroy, kill everybody, everything that made them suffer all their life. In July 1789 in France, a huge crowd of people poured into the streets, holding guns, knives, sticks, and stones. They moved forwards towards the city's prison in a great wave. The officers at the prison couldn't stop the people from breaking into the place. The people were stronger than them, and at last they began to pour forwards inside its walls. Devarge, Mr. Devarge, who was one of the leaders of the revolution, ordered one of the prison officers to take him to 105 North Tower, the name of the cell where Dr. Manette had been imprisoned for a long time. He wanted to see the cell where Dr. Manette was imprisoned. It was a small and dark room with a dirty straw bed, a chimney against the wall, and a small table and chair. Devarge pulled out some blackened, dirty papers from inside the wall. Then the people revenged from those who made them suffer. They took power in Paris. In the other parts of France, they burned the castles of the aristocrats and they hanged the keepers. The Marquis of Evermont's castle was burned like all the castles. Gabelle, the helper of Charles Darnay, called for help in the village, but none came. The people then went to Gabelle's house, and forgetting that the Marquis, Charles Darnay, had told him to charge no rent, they shouted for him to come out, but he locked himself away that night. He disappeared. Okay? Now, let's check some questions about chapter 5 and prayer. What's happened in July 1789 in France? A huge crowd of people poured into the streets, holding guns, knives, sticks, and stones. They moved forwards towards the city's prison in a great wave. Number 2. Could the prison's officers stop the people outside its walls? And why? No, they couldn't. The people were stronger than them, and at last they began to pour forwards inside its walls. We have a comment. Take me to the North Tower. Cell 105 North Tower. These words were said by Devarge to one of the prison officers. He wanted to see the cell where Dr. Manette was imprisoned for a long time. He knew that it must be some secrets in this cell, and he wanted to know what was it like. How would the cell where Dr. Manette had been imprisoned in for years? It was small and dark, with a dirty straw bed, a chimney against the wall, and a small table and a chair. Devarge, as we have just said, had found things there. What did Devarge find inside the cell? He pulled out some blackened, dirty papers from inside the walls. He pulled out some black and dirty papers from inside the wall. So, how did the people revenge from those who made them suffer? They took power in Paris. In the other parts of France, they burned the castles of all the aristocrats and hanged the keepers on it. Number 7, what's happened to the Marquis of Evermont's castle and Gabelle? The castle was burned like all other castles. Gabelle called for help in the village, but no one came to help them. None came. The people then went to his house, forgetting that the Marquis had told him to charge no rent. They shouted for him to come out, but he locked himself away that night. So that was chapter 5 in our novel. Thank you very much.